Okay, in this first clip, I've got a time-lapse image of a drop of food coloring in hot water on the left and cold water on the right. You can see the time that it takes. Now, you can see that I've set up the flasks with the tube stuck in them on the left, but I'll show you how I did that. Nothing fancy, just put in a drop of food coloring, add water, and then stick a stopper that has a small glass tube stuck in it into the top, and you can see that water will push up the tube. This water is at room temperature. So now I'll pull aside the others and actually use the two that I've set up for no really good reason except the food coloring is a little bit darker. And I'll mark room temperature on the one on the right, which has a wider glass tube, and room temperature for the one on the left with little pieces of tape. You should make your measurements and discussion with the flask on the left, the one that I use first. Notice when it's placed in the hot water how quickly the level of water will rise up the tube. Now for comparison, I'll pull that out and change to the larger, wider tube in the stopper just so that you can see that. First I'll mark the hot temperature location so that you can mark on your paper afterwards, and we'll put in the other tube. And the only reason I show this is it's worth noting how much more time it takes for the water level to rise when the tube is wider. All of this is so that we can infer some information about what's happening with water molecules when they are heated and when they are cooled. There you go. You can see the level rising slowly in the wider tube now. I'll admit, a little bit like watching grass grow, but I think now we'll put it in faster speed. I think that I increased the speed of the video, and you'll be able to see the water rise up a little bit faster, but still nowhere near the difference, even though the temperature of the water in the beaker is the same, nowhere near the difference in the wider tube compared to the smaller tube. That's just about enough. Now let's mark the hot water level in the larger tube, and then we'll transfer both of the setups to ice water. And you can see how very quickly the ice water will have an effect on the water inside the flask, which resulting has an effect on the water in the tube. And you can see it dropping. Likely you would have expected this to happen, but it certainly is worth taking a look and see. Now I will change to fast speed and a time lapse and put the larger tube into the ice water. Again, apologize, feel free to put the video on fast speed. You can see that the dropping is happening a little bit faster because I did speed the video up already. When we finish, be sure and mark all of the levels on your diagram in the lab sheet. And now you can see I'll add the phone so that you can see in fact how much time actually did lapse, and then at the end you can stop the video and make your 3 markings on your lab sheet and move on to completing the lab.